Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Local Lubat. In this video, we are going to cover a very interesting topic. We are going to talk about how do you run a model locally in your own machine. You might have seen ChatGPT, you might have seen cloudai.ai, and you need to have internet connection. You go to cloudai.ai, you chat with that model, whatever it is, cloudai sonnet or GPT-4, GPT 3.5. But what if you could have this locally on your own machine and have the UI also on the machine, and maybe you can use this without using an internet connection? So that's the power what Ollama brings. So Ollama supports, you can download models locally to your machine. You can have your own model also, and you can download it locally and an interface to interact with that model. So that is what we are going to do today. First, we are going to install Ollama. I'll tell you how to use it, how to run Ollama. Then we'll see a customized UI that we can run locally, which will look very much like ChatGPT. So it'll be something like this. You see, this is my own UI running on localhost 3000, and I can chat with this. I can choose the model which is locally hosted on my machine. It's not going anywhere. It's not making like an API call to ChatGPT server or Cloudai server. So that is the power that Ollama and this Ollama UI will bring to us, and that's what we are going to do today. So the very first thing, if you've not heard about Ollama, you need to go to ollama.com, and that's where you will see this button called as you can download it for Mac OS, you can download it for Windows and all different kind of OSs that are available. Since I am on a Mac OS machine, I'll download for Mac OS, and it's not a huge file overall. If you see, it's around 177 MB. I have already downloaded it, but it should take like a minute for you to download. I'll cancel this because I already have it in my machine. Once this download happens, what we can do is, while this is parallelly happening, we can read some of the documentation of how to use it. For that, Ollama has a very good readme on their GitHub page, and if you scroll down here, you can see they have written instructions on how to download it, but they have also given a selection of models that are available to be downloaded from the Ollama library. So for example, if you want Llama 3.1, which is an 8 billion model, you can just do Ollama run and the model name. So the command is also very simple, Ollama run and whatever the model you need. If it is already downloaded, it won't download it, but the very first time you run it, it will download the model locally. So it will take some amount of time and also storage, and that is where the size parameter comes into picture. So be very careful which one are you downloading. For this demo, for this video, what we are going to do is I'll download like a smaller version, which is Phi3 mini, which is around 2.3 GB, and it's a 3.8 billion parameters. So what I need to do is I need to do Ollama run Phi3 once my Ollama is installed. And to check whether Ollama is running or not, we can quickly check it by going to localhost 11434. That's what the port, that is the port that Ollama exposes. So we click on this and we see that Ollama is running. Perfect. Now what we are going to do is we are going to run Phi3 model, which is from Microsoft, and Phi3 mini, and see whether we can interact with it on the terminal first. So let's go to the terminal and let's run Ollama run Phi3. So now, because I have already downloaded it, it's not going through the download process, but if it's not downloaded, the first thing that will happen here is we'll download the model, which is around 2.2 or 2.3 GB. So you might have to wait a couple of minutes. And now it's starting Ollama run Phi3, and let's see once the basically the chat prompt boots up. So now we can type in any message. So let's say I'll type tell me a joke. So this is like ChatGPT only, but I'm using a different model which is on my machine. So tell me a joke. Let's see if the reply comes. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything, even jokes. This is just for fun about atomic structure. Okay, nice, that's good. Let's see. Okay, tell me another joke. Because I heard it's maintaining hygiene and health. Oh my god, it's such a huge joke that they've given me, because I think Phi3 is like a smaller model, so maybe it's giving like this. But it's fun. You can see that you are now talking to a model which is locally hosted. And the best part is, if I split screen here, and what I can do is, if I had another model, let's say for example, I could have done maybe, let's say, Llama 3.1 billion parameters or anything, and I could actually compare the output on both the models. So this is very useful when let's say there's a certain prompt, you're playing around with the prompt or engineering it, and you want to see which, and you're planning to choose which model is faster or which model gets better output. You can actually download both the models locally and run this from the terminal and see where you're getting faster output, which way you're getting better output. And you can run n number of models depending on how much storage you have. You can run 3 models parallelly and see how the output is working. So this is really great. But some people might have a question that, okay, this is very boring. Like, does Ollama have a UI where I can chat? Which is the next thing we are going to talk, where Ollama does have a web UI which looks like this. Very similar to ChatGPT. I think the style and a bit is slightly different, but you can see that it works. And once my model is downloaded, it will actually show up here. So you can see my model is here, Phi3. The rest of them are actually internet models, but this is my local model which is stored at, you can see the local models are identified with this. It's saying 2 GB. So if I choose this, I can say here hello, and this is actually running locally. And another thing I can show you is that it does not require an internet connection because it's all happening locally. I'll turn off my internet and you can see. So if I turn off my internet now and I again type how are you, let's see if we get a response or not. I'm a digital assistant, I don't have feelings, but thank you. What about yourself? So you see, without the internet connection, I'm able to talk to my model, and this is all happening locally. So that's the beauty of it. Another thing I wanted to show is that Ollama is so well designed that it also exposes API to interact. So let's say you're working with Langchain or Llama Index and you want to interact with your locally hosted model. We can do that too. To try it out, I'll show you Postman collection here. This is my Postman and it's exposed on 11434, and you have to call the API generate. So a lot of time people have a problem that, okay, I fine-tuned my model, I downloaded it, but now I have to create a fast API server to expose it to everybody. But Ollama has this, that it is not only giving you terminal, not only giving you UI, but it's actually exposing endpoints also for you to call the API. So what I'll do here is I'll just make a post call to API generate. Model is Phi3. Prompt, I'll say hello, and I'll say tell me a joke, and streaming false because I want to get the output all together. So let's call this API and we'll see the response coming out. It takes a couple of minutes because I think the processing and everything takes time, and also it's a very small model, so the speed is something that I don't guarantee. So it seems you have requested information, but your message contains some unclear elements and potential errors in spelling. Oh, I said tell me a joke. Okay, so I'll say tell me a joke and rerun this. But it was able to identify that, okay, there is some spelling mistake and it's actually interacting with the model. So that is very helpful, and now you see I got the same joke here again. So it can call via API, we can use the UI, we can download and use via terminal. For the UI, what you have to use is something called as Open Web UI. It's basically, the URL is docs.openwebui.com. It has installation instructions for you to follow. Basically, I'm running on a Docker container. So I just use this command. I go to my terminal. Let's basically close this. Let's end this also with a bye, and we just paste the Docker command and we put our OpenAI key here, and it will start your Open Web UI, the Ollama UI on your Docker containers, and it will be accessible on localhost 3000. Mine is already running, so I won't run it again, but you can see mine is running here on localhost 3000, and it's like my own ChatGPT UI with my own model hosted locally. So that's the beauty of it. And one more thing, very important, very nice thing about Ollama is that it has support for all the major frameworks and everything as well. So whether you're using Llama Index or Langchain, you can always use Ollama. One example of that here is the integration for Chat Ollama. We are going to do this right now. The only thing you have to do is first you install this package. So let me say I install this package first. It is installed. Now I go to my editor. I already have an index.js. I'll import this first of all here. I'll say chat Ollama from Langchain Ollama. Then I'll initialize my model like this. Don't have to specify the base URL here. I'm using Cursor, so Cursor is auto completing a lot of things for me, which is also very nice. If you haven't tried Cursor, please do download it. You get some free usage also, but it's very nice to use. So I just specify my model here. I want to use phi3, and then I do Ollama chat.invoke hello how are you, and we'll wait for the response here. And let's run this file quickly. Say node index.js, cannot read properties of undefined. I think let me just see how do I invoke it. Oh, I just do an invoke here. Okay, there is no chat.invoke, so I just do this ollama.invoke, and let's see, we run this. It takes a couple of minutes, couple of seconds actually to get the response, but it's actually making a call to my local model and we'll get the response here. So it basically works with Llama Index also in a similar way, like how it's working with Langchain. You see, I got the answer, content, I'm an AI, so I don't have feelings, but thank you for asking. So it responded to my message. Last thing I want to show here before we end this video, but so far if you've liked the content, please do subscribe to the channel Local Lubat. I'll continue making more videos on how to do embedding, RAG. I've already done a couple of videos, and in the future I'll add more videos. But if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you like the content, please do subscribe. And moving forward, the last thing I want to cover is, let's say you want to modify your downloaded prompt and give it some special instructions to follow. So you can customize it like this. You can basically create a model file and put your own system message there, like how here they are printing your Mario from Super Mario Brothers, answer as Mario the assistant only. So we'll do the same thing now. We will create a model file. So I'll go here, I'll say maybe I'll just create I'll create this file somewhere else. I'll create it here, model file. You see my model file is already created here. You are Mario from Super Mario Brothers. I'll just change this and I'll say you are Luigi from Super Mario Bros. Answer as Luigi. So this is just giving it a more custom system prompt. Okay, and we save this, and then we are going to follow this command here. We are going to say Ollama create and the name of the model file. So we're going to say Ollama create, and I'll name this something else. My model name will be Luigi now, but from this model file. Once I create this, I see that it's created, and quickly we'll go to the UI now and see if it's working. I'll reload my UI, I'll create a new chat, and in the model you see I've got a Luigi model also. So now I choose this, and then I'll say hello, and now it will reply as Luigi to me. Let's see, it takes a couple of seconds to get the response. Okay, now it's the main character of Sonic the Hedgehog is primarily not specific ability to perform. It's given me a lot of information because I think the model is not like extremely powerful. But overall, you see it's coming, it's working, it's replying, it's giving you a lot of other information also. I'll just stop this content from building, but we got this response basically. And that's it for the video. If you like the content, please do subscribe, and bye bye.